Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for a new episode of Anewgo of New Home Sales. I'm your host, Anya Chrysanthon, and joining me today is my co-host, Beth Bird, Anewgo's VP of Sales. And we have a couple of guests for you today. Joining us from Riverside Homebuilders, we have two community sales managers with us, Amanda Houston and Graeme Robertson. So welcome to the show, you guys. We're so excited to have you on today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had reached out and we said, you know what, let's talk about some of the products that you guys are using. And let's not go to the implementers necessarily, but to the people who actually are using this every day so that we can get your perspective of how this technology actually helps you work with potential home buyers. So before we jump into it, let's start with a quick overview of Riverside Home Builder. So Amanda, you've been with the company for 15 years. So can you tell us how many homes do you guys build? What kind of products do you offer? And what really makes your community stand out?
Yes. So I have been with Riverside over 17 years. We are a small family owned builder based in Fort Worth, Texas. We're very proud of the fact that we have 1 acre communities. That's probably our bread and butter. We also have some inner city communities as well. We build typically between 600 and 700 homes a year. We're very focused on energy, comfort, and style for our homeowners. Our communities stand out because we're very energy efficient. We have foam. 1 acre is what I currently, and right now, we're able to kind of offer that unique product to our homeowners in the DFW Metroplex.
Very cool. And so, Amanda, who is your typical buyer in your current community?
So I am seeing a mix of our move-up buyer. So they've purchased a home, they've got a little bit of equity, they're ready to take that next step. I also have a good amount of, I would say, like retirees. They're kind of building their dream home. They're wanting a little bit more elbow room and space, get out of the city, but still close enough to the city amenities that they can have the best of both worlds.
Very cool. All right. And Grim, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about your community? What's different about your community and who's your buyer?
Yes, I'm over in North Star Community, which is just off of 287. I like to call us Country A. We don't have the acreage out here, but we do have, it's kind of that country feel, but inner city home. We are seeing everything. We're getting first time home buyers, people that are renting, people that are moving from states, but we're also getting the same. Like, I've never seen such a diverse place. People that are empty nesters, downsizing. I'm It's so diverse right now. It's like I'm getting everybody.
So you guys are really seeing kind of everybody. A question for you guys separately or whoever wants to tackle this. Have you noticed any changes in homebuyer behavior, like their expectations over the say last 2 to 3 years? Like when they walk into the sales office now versus before, do you notice any difference in how they act and what they expect?
Yes, I would say with the millennials getting into the home market and now the Gen Zs, we're seeing a much tech savvier homeowner and they want everything very fast. So they've already looked up you up on Zillow, they've looked at your website, they're coming in much more educated. They know exactly what they want, they've seen it online. We're just kind of there to help along the process. So attention spans, I would say, is very short. You have to know your stuff, your availability, your pricing, and quickly and make it easy for them too. That's another thing to today's buyer. If easy equals right, and if it's not a quick, easy process, they're moving on quickly.
I think I've heard that easy equals right from Jeff Short before. So it sounds like you guys are on the right track there. So Beth, you had a chance to actually come out and visit some of the communities face to face when you were introducing the Anewgo Sales Center. So can you talk to us about that experience? And then we can jump in to post-implementation, what it's been like for you guys.
Yes, and I have to say it was one of the highlights of the first few months for me at Anewgo. I was working with Riverside marketing team, talking about bringing these sales centers in. We said, let's give it a try. And we said, who are going to be the people on your team that would really embrace this, who can champion this and test it out? And Graeme and Amanda were on the list. And so I actually got to go to both of the model homes where they work. And we got to work on setting up the sale kiosk in person. and practice how would we use this in a presentation. And I have to say, I was so blown away by both of you. You are amazing salespeople. I could tell from my interactions with you. So I'm so excited to hear about, since I was with you, what's the experience been like? Maybe I'll let you paint the picture of how this works in your model rather than my explaining. So maybe tell us a little bit about, where do you have this in your model? How do you implement it into your sales process, and what's changed with having these sales kiosks?
I love it. It's in our sales office. So it's really easy for me to bring them over, show it. It's like getting a new phone. You play with all the gadgets on it. It has been so beneficial because Amanda's already kind of given the secret is easy equals right. And it's so true. When people can see that, oh, it's just like using a phone, but better, and it's more zoned in to what they're looking and what they're wanting, it helps us really keep that really short attention span. It keeps us going a little bit longer and helps out with the next steps. And so I really enjoy using it. Like I said, it's a big phone for me. It's a lot of fun. I just love seeing when people start touching that board in front of you, like, hey, you do it and I'll just follow you. And at that point, they start asking more questions and it makes our life a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable too.
Yes. And so I think for those listeners who may not be familiar with Anewgo Sales Kiosk, Beth, do you want to do a quick little spiel on just what that is? How's it different from Anewgo marketing app? Because some people I think are still like, okay, well, we have a Anewgo marketing app, aka my home app. What's different about it? Why do we need to have the sales office app?
Yes, absolutely. So the sales kiosk app takes the core of the marketing app, which is your interactive maps and floor plans and elevations, and it makes all of that accessible in a touchscreen format that's really easy to operate on a big screen like Graeme and Amanda have in their model home, or an iPad on the go. But it adds a few layers that the marketing app just barely touches on, and those are really the community focus. Each sales center is built uniquely for a community. So you can have your community amenities, like the neighborhood where Graeme is selling is a great community that has some amazing amenities. And he's able to show pictures of the playground and the green spaces and all of the things that are unique about living there. And Graeme, I use you as an example in some of my demos because in the interactive maps, not just the site maps, but the actual area map, you can pinpoint locations. And Graeme, you did a fun things to do in the area, and you called out, like, what would families who live here go and do?
It's so I spoke to my assistant because she's a few years younger than me. I was like, hey, what would you do? And because the first time I'm going to go, you're in Texas, every week was the gun range, right? So you put that out there. We had stuff like the stockyard, which is not far away from here because when you're in Fort Worth, you want to see the cattle drive, cowboy boots, but also stuff like escape room, stockyard, gun range. We just tried to mix it so that way it just wasn't your usual, here's your grocery store, here's your house, but we want to do a little bit more. And that's made it a lot of fun as well because people are seeing that we're not using the generic ABCs. We're going outside the box.
I love that. And when you say it's a lot easier to use than a normal website because we've designed big buttons that are meant to just kind of tap with your finger on the screen.
Less is more. So you've got less to go wrong. So it's very focused, which makes it a million times better. And so when they're not got 50 things that go from tab, 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 it keeps over focus. That really does help. So that way it also makes them more central because it means they're looking just at my stuff as well. So it really does help me. So they're not looking at some other community or something else and then get taken off in the wrong direction.
I'm curious, have you let potential buyers explore the sales app on their own? Or are you always driving it with them? Because one of the features we do have is, whether it's with the sales representative or maybe you're away and they just explore. So I'm curious if people are actually using it by themselves or are you always there to guide them?
I find that I like using the app with the homeowner, and I'm a big believer in show and tell. So in my normal model demo, I'm like, hey, open that cabinet, check out the fridge. So this is just another tool that I can let them choose the button. Hey, okay, what stone would you like? Go ahead and select that one. Which one do you think? Does it go with that cedar? it gets them involved in the process. We also keep it running in my model. So if I'm out showing a home, I have a note. Hey, be right back. The Anewgo app is running. They're more than welcome to tap on there. It says welcome, and they can play with it before I get back and am able to help them.
That's awesome. And I'm curious, have you guys noticed any changes in buyer behavior or decision making since you started using the app?
Yes, because we're able to show off certain things, and whereas a home site, it keeps that short attention span longer and it gets them more involved, either booking an appointment or physically getting them out seeing it. So I've seen a big difference. I like I said, it's like a toy. It's so much fun. And when they start touching the button, I just step back and let them play with it. They don't all do it. Some people, like Amanda was saying, I love leading too. But when they're touching, I'm like, I don't want to take away the fun. It's a new toy. It's something different than not everybody's doing. And it does. I'm looking at my board right now as it runs through its pictures, and it's just so much fun because it catches your attention.
And I'm curious, Amanda, since your community has some upsizers from older population, do you see that they're using it just as easily? Our goal was to design this app that whether you're 5 years old, 12 years old, or 67 years old, or 90 years old, that you can still navigate and use it. So have you noticed any demographically different people using it in any different way?
I would say that they're very impressed by it. We look super high tech. It's not the boring old floor plan that we're showing, in 1D, but I'm able actually to pull up my floor plan and make it bigger for them. So that helps too. Sometimes it's harder if we have a homeowner who needs to see something in a bigger size. I can expand it and I can show them and I can walk them through the floor plan. It's a little bit more easy for them to use. And I think they're very impressed with how we stand out from maybe other home builders that they've visited, that they can play with the technology.
Absolutely. Do you see that buyers tend to gravitate to one feature over the others? Obviously, the app has so many different features, like you mentioned earlier, the amenities. It's a great way to show off your community amenities there. But also, of course, the interactive floor plans, they can compare very easily plans to each other, and then the exteriors, interiors, so they can play with the color combinations. So any wow moments that you've seen firsthand from your buyers, where do they tend to gravitate toward?
Yes, you're absolutely right. When we do the build your own home tool, that's been the biggest impact for me. I had one family recently, they were so stuck between elevations, they just could not decide between which one. And I was able to take them to the app and I was like, okay, guys, let's just play with this and see how that makes you feel. Was able to compare A to B. How do you like this? We can switch it. Does this feel right? And it actually helped them make their decision. They were able to pick a stone color. They weren't sure if that was going to go with the elevation that they liked. It worked beautifully and helped put their mind at ease. And then we were able to move to the next step in the build process.
I love that. And you know what that makes me think of, Amanda, is in sales training, we talk about getting the customer to make little yeses throughout that make the close at the end easier. Because if you wait and just have one big close, that's a tough closing question to ask. It's a tough question for the buyers to respond. But if you've gotten little yeses as you go, yes to this floor plan option, yes to this stone, yes to this elevation, it's much simpler. Like we've already decided all these things. The natural next step is making a purchase decision. And so I love how this really does a lot of that for you. You're going to still incorporate that in your model home demo, but it's really backing up what you are doing through your process by gaining those agreements.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. One of the best things of this app is, I think, that ability to really overcome objections when you have those interactive visuals at your fingertips. It just makes it so much easier. And I always say work smarter, not harder. Wish I had this or something like this back in my own selling days. So I'm curious, how has using this app changed your day-to-day as a salesperson? Is it helping you work smarter or faster in any way?
And for preparation time, if you know somebody's coming in, and like Amanda was talking about, the build your own home, if you know they're looking for something specific, you can have that up on the screen. And I've seen you take people come in and rather than take 15, 20 minutes, maybe take 5 minutes. And so, because seeing is believing, isn't it? And so it's made my life a lot easier. And the big thing with the home sites, because I'll get a lot of people, what about that one over there? And it just opens up the customer because they're not just going through me like a closed book. They're actually got everything in front of them. So they feel is a lot more open of a process.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Graham, when we met the first time, you had thought about plugging testimonials in. Did you ever end up putting testimonials into your kiosk?
Yes, we did. And it's really funny. So a short story, because I'm going to tell you to do a lot of long stories. Short story is that I had a realtor. I was on the day off. I came in to see her and she was talking to her client and she goes, "Oh, that's my people." And because they left that there on there and it really helped for the referral of that next homeowner who's now living in one of our homes about a month ago. So it was just awesome to have that up there. And we got 3 different ones. And that has made a big difference, especially when someone recognizes the name. It really helps.
I love that. I loved it that you were doing community specific. Like as a company, we always have testimonials, but this is like, here are families who live in this neighborhood. That's so impactful.
I love that idea. I mean, anything you can do to personalize it is a really targeting a conversation, targeting message to them so that you don't even have to look at all this other stuff and get them distracted. And as we know, the more things they see, the harder it is to rein them in. So it's like, yeah, go narrow, go in, get as many yeses as possible. So I love that. What advice would you give to other salespeople or builders who are still maybe using kind of an old school approach when it comes to sales centers? We see those, poster boards when you walk in, and that's how the presentation takes place. If they're looking for a solution like this, what would you say to them?
I would definitely encourage them to look into this. Just this speed alone, how much information we're able to give to our buyers in a very quick, concise way and in a way that looks super polished and professional is a game changer.
100%. Just like what Amanda said, because it's so focused on our community, less is more. And so it's given that more personal experience, not just you've got Amanda, you've got Graham, you've got someone else. They feel like it's really set aside for them. And we're seeing homeowners love that kind of stuff because we are seeing a shift in people wanting more technology. This is the next level. This is the evolution of where we're going. And I can't believe how long it's taken us to get something like this. When you think how long I've been in this industry, I'm like, wow, this could have been around for years. It's made a big difference. I love it.
Well, we just rolled it out not too long ago, so you didn't miss out on too much. So it's perfect. And actually, one of the things that I love when talking to our builders, the actual users of technology, it's always interesting to see how they're using technology because we built technology and we obviously intended one way, but oftentimes we find different use cases. So I'm curious, this question is for both of you. If you could wave a magic wand and be like, ta-da, this extra feature, let's add it to the sales center, what would it be?
One of my favorite parts is when they're done designing their home, it emails them a neat little brochure. They can scan the code. There's nothing really that I can think of. I think it's working great.
Great.
I have a question for you. How easy was it for you to learn? Did you feel like were the first few presentations awkward? Or what was that implementation process in a practical way? What did that look like for you?
So for me, it's pretty cute. As an elder millennial, I am a little technology challenged. So it was kind of cute the first few times. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, come in. We've got this new thing. And I was like, wait, nope, that's not how it goes. Hang on. And they kind of just like giggled with me and like, okay, she's so excited. But I haven't had any issues. But it was fun just kind of exploring the first few times, getting comfortable with it.
Love it. So even an elder millennial can figure it out. That's
Exactly.
What I do know is that it is for the best and change is positive and it was going to help us, which helps our customers. Most importantly, helping them out because, man, we live in a world full of anxiety. Let's take that away from them and make their life easier. And where we can show and seeing is believing, and when they can take control, they feel better about it. And if they feel better about it, we can help them in their journey a lot better. And that makes our life easier and more enjoyable.
Yes, I absolutely 100% agree with that. Technology can be tricky, especially when it first comes out and you're trying to work through the bugs and there's always resistance, I think, in certain cases. But as long as it's as easy as the elder millennials can do it, I think we're in good hands here. So So as we wrap up today's conversation, I'm curious, what's been your most memorable buy or moment since you started using this tool? Is there anything that comes to mind?
True story, I had a gentleman on a Sunday. I'll be polite. He was quite assertive, and he was ready to walk out the door. I was like, "Hey, let's just have a chat for a minute." And he started talking, and I just started playing in the background next to me with it. And what I found was I noticed his attention go to the board. Actually, not only did I manage to keep his attention for longer than 30 seconds, I ended up getting an appointment out of it, and I ended up taking him to a different community. And it had that board not been there, I really believe he would have walked out the door and I would never have got a conversation out of him. Because he started believing on the board, because you could see it and you could touch it, it changed everything. And at that point, if there was any doubt in my mind, it had gone out the window. I was like, this just proved within those few minutes that this guy wanted technology. And he was a little bit older. He was probably in his 50s. And it just, you could see his eyes light up. And I was like, Graeme, we've done it. This is worth it. And so anytime I see anyone a little bit concerned, I have to get them over it because I know that board will start doing the work for me. And then if they need knowledge, I'm there. So between the two of us, we can work well together.
Very cool. Graham, what's your accent? It's got to be more than the Southern draw.
So my accent does catch people off guard. So the technology helps where I sometimes have that language barrier.
No language barrier, but where are you from?
I'm from Perth in Scotland.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, it's a little more than the Texan accents there. So
Definitely. I think I catch people off when I'm wearing cowboy boots in here sometimes. And they're like, you look like a Texan, but you don't sound like a Texan. So it's always good for me. It's like, it's a conversation starter.
that's awesome. Yes, I always love the fact that I have accent. I agree. It does start conversations very easily. How about you, Amanda? Do we have any specific moments that were memorable to you?
I had a really good case study a couple weeks ago. Wife was really excited about this area. She really wanted an acre and to be out in the country. And husband was complete opposite. And so they were kind of in war with each other. And you could tell he was kind of ready to get out of here. And she wanted to know more. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. He's an airline pilot. He said, I have to be an hour from the airport. And I was like, oh, we're an hour with the airport. And he's like, there's no way. And I just boop, 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 tapped on my map. Had the airport already preloaded in and was able to show only 45 miles away. And you could kind of see he cracked a smile after that. He was a tough cookie, but I kind of won him over and was able to show them, like, you're far in the country, but you're actually only 10 minutes from Sam's and Target. And just being able to kind of pull that all in with a visual was able to help.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Yeah, anything to help you convert them faster, get them to say yes faster and overcome objections. I think ultimately that's what the tool is meant for, right? It's not only to make your life easier, but obviously to make your customers' life easier. And then I'm curious, how many people say, oh, can I play with this at home? When I go home, can I pick up where we left off? Do they want to continue this conversation on their own once they leave your model home?
Oh, absolutely. And being able to email them that brochure, it even gives me a talking point to follow back up with them. So the next morning, so nice seeing you guys yesterday. When you guys got home and got to look at your brochure together, did you share it with friends, family, the kids? It's able to have that follow up and something that they can take with them and think about once they actually leave their model.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things we gave you access to is Anewgo Insights. So I'm so excited to have you guys start using that because the Insights is basically the opposite side of the customer facing. So every single thing that they're doing on their own, whether it's in the sales center when you're not there, if they sign into their account, or when they go home and start playing on their own, you'll be able to actually see every single click that they make. You'll see the floor plans that they're designing, which communities they're visiting, what options they're choosing. So again, to your point, Amanda, it's always like, what do I follow up with, right? Like, what do I follow up with? I need something that's meaningful to them. And so that really gives you an in to join a conversation that's relevant to them. Obviously, you want to be careful. You don't want to be big brotherish, but it certainly gives you a lot more leverage to have more personalized conversations. And I think buyers appreciate that you're not just wasting their time. You're actually talking about something that they're interested in.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was excited to share that with you guys. I'm just getting the marketing team started and we'll get you guys added with access with their permission, of course. so that you can track that buyer journey. And yeah, when I was in the field as a salesperson, the app was my number one tool to get contact information because they would see me playing around and I would say, if you want to go home and design on your own, I could just text you a link. And everybody always said yes and was willing to give me their number so I could text them the direct link to do it on their own. Have you found the same? Are people more open to giving you contact information?
Yeah, I definitely think it's such a natural next step.
It's another touch point. It's something else to get them involved.
Right. Yes. So before I let you guys go, thank you for such a great conversation. Again, it's so nice to be able to hear it from the client's perspective. And we're always trying to collect feedback. How can we improve our tool? How can we make it better? So if you have any ideas in the future, please share with us. Hopefully we can have you back on a podcast again to talk about the insights tool once you have access to that, because you'll be like, look at me. I'm like a spy. I can see everything my clients are doing and convert all this sales now. So I can't wait for that. But before I let you guys go, was there anything that I did not ask you today that you think would be important for our listeners to know or to understand, whether it's related to this tool or anything else we talked about or just life in general?
Beth said to me, you can't break it. I tried to prove her wrong. I haven't been able to break it. So if she says it can't be broken, it can't be installed. If anyone's worried about technology, don't be. If there's anyone in this company who's going to break something, he's on this call right now. And so I spent a lot of time because customers can make mistakes and it was so easy. It just makes life so much better. So don't be afraid of the technology. It's awesome. And I can use it. Everybody can use it.
Thank you, Graeme. That's awesome. Amanda, any last thoughts for you?
I just love that we have extra tools in our tool belt. I think the human element will never be replaced, and that's not going to go away, but it just helps us to be better stewards of our model homes, of our homes, and able to connect with people and help people better. And I'm just very thankful and grateful to have those tools to be able to share with our homeowners.
Thank you for that. I agree with you. I think it is showing respect to people that you care, you listen, and you're not making them start all over again in the process. If they've gone already this far, let's pick it up where we left off and we can send you off to continue that conversation at home. So yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Graeme and Amanda, for being on today's podcast. Really appreciate your insights. Really great to hear from first perspective from our sales managers of how you're actually using this tool in the field. So thank you for being here. And again, I'd love to have you guys back in the future to talk about the insights. Until then,
Yeah.
see you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.